Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Chad again. Today's plant we're going to be talking about is a very important plant that it's been in the news for quite some time off and on. There's a lot of buzz around it, and this is one of the first herbs I'll be showing you that really it's not a day-to-day using herb. It's really more of an as you need it, but since it does have a lot of qualities and it's so freaking misunderstood, I wanted to go ahead and show it to you. So I'll show you this. This is Echinacea, and this is the root of the Echinacea plant. Now with this stuff, it's what is classified as an immunostimulant in herbology. And what this does is, if you were to look at your immune system from, it has two branches. So you have your innate immune system and you have your acquired immune system. Now the acquired immune system is where your B cells, T cells are. It's where your body creates antibodies. And over on the other side is the whole department that has the macrophage and all the other things. Keep this as low on the technical talk as possible. And what this does, more or less, when you ingest it, it basically acts to stimulate the lymphatic system. Now, what the lymphatic system, if you look at it on a microscopic scale, it's basically what your immune system is doing, or that part of it, is it's basically feeling for sugars and proteins. If you really want to just break it down, and those sugars and proteins, more often than not, those equate to bacteria, those equate to viruses, and when things latch on, the system goes, oh, I don't know what this is, so it gobbles things up. It'll create mucus, a whole bunch of other things, but basically it helps to rid the system of that intruder or perceived intruder. Now what Echinacea does is it more or less stimulates that lymphatic system. You could almost, if we were to put it in simplicity's terms, it more or less is like your lymphatic system is going to the gym. Now some might be wondering or question whether or not it could possibly present an issue when somebody has some autoimmune disease. From what I've seen, it does not. From some of my teachers who are very skilled herbalists, they also have not seen that, so more than likely it's not going to be an issue, but obviously we all have biological individuality and there's always a possibility for anything to happen along those lines. Now with the plant itself, we'll go into that. This is, I just showed you, this is the root. Now there's two different types of Echinacea on the market, generally speaking. And the one that is most often sold is Echinacea purpurea. Now, purpurea being purple, and that's what we envision on most bottles or pictures of the Echinacea, is that beautiful plant, which it certainly is. Now the problem with the Echinacea purpurea is that it does not have the same strength as what I'm showing you here, which is Echinacea angustifolia. Now, to put this all into context, the purpurea is oftentimes used in a lot of German medicine, and it does have its place if it is being used fresh, and most practitioners will actually juice the plant, and you're giving the patient the actual juice. So there's no tinctures, there's no teas. It's you just yanked it right out of the garden and you gave it to them in a juice form, and that's that. Now the thing with the angustifolia, it's a little bit more expensive, and it does take, it's a little bit more fickle when it comes to growing it, and it costs more to produce. So in most products you're going to find Echinacea purpurea instead of the angustifolia, which if you do see it like that, regardless of if it's tincture or pills or powders, I would personally avoid it because you're more than likely going to waste your money. Now, with the properties that the angustifolia holds, this leads us into another little department regarding tinctures and teas and pills. When it comes to the use of this plant, you want to use it in a tea, you want to use it in tincture form. Preferably tincture form is probably the best, and I'll get into that in a moment. But see, what happens is with a lot of the things that are on the market, they're in pills. Now, one of Echinacea's great properties is that it stimulates the lymph, as I said. The lymph, you have lymph here, you have lymph all throughout your GI tract, and what that does is it activates it as it goes down. If you take a pill, you're bypassing all that, and it gets into your stomach. It may even get into your small intestine, depending upon whether or not you have food there, and your body goes, oh, what the hell is this, and it has to try to figure it out. So with all the receptors that we have on our tongue and our mouth going down our throat, this helps to basically wake the system up and get it to focus. Now, the benefit that I see to taking the tincture is that if you are taking Echinacea as a remedy for if you're feeling ill or you feel a cold coming on, is that you have to take it with consistency. So we're talking, you might be looking at, depending upon your context, you might be looking at taking a dropper full, so that's 30 drops every 2 hours, because you're getting that constant coating. And another thing that it does is it helps to, when you take it, you'll notice almost like a tingly metallic taste, and what that kind of does is it closes up some of the pores. I wouldn't quite call it astringing, but somewhere along those lines, and that squeezing can actually prevent viruses from being able to penetrate into the skin throughout your throughout the upper part of your GI tract. Now, so with all that being said, the purpurea, it does not have the same potency as I've said, and also with the purpurea, it's generally the leaves. It's not usually the root that's used, and so it's basically, it's inferior and probably a waste of your money. Now, as far as when it comes to using this stuff, if you already are feeling really sick, like let's say you felt sick for a day, you're coughing up mucus and all that, it's too late. So the mechanisms by which Echinacea work you're beyond that point. It's basically the viral load or bacterial load basically starts to bell curve. It goes up like that if you're looking at it on a chart. Now, you've got to catch it early. So at the first onset of feeling that, you start taking it. If you've already gone past that one, that little, as the gradient starts to steepen, you're just kind of wasting your money, because the effect that it would have on your immune system, it doesn't matter anymore because the stuff is already in your system. And in that case, I mean, as always, I suggest resting and eating as simply as possible, or if, depending upon your context, maybe not eating at all and just fasting and letting your body do that thing. But with the, so that just lets you know that a lot of the things that are on the market that are there to boost your immune system and all this stuff, or you take it when you're sick, if it's got Echinacea and all that, it's just a waste, and it's probably, it's basically just more for your body to process, and it's going to just hit you in the wallet and not really do you a whole bunch of good. So that covers all that. And I mean, with the, there's one study that I guess I'll end with, was that it was done over in Germany. And it was basically, it showed on a chart, if you were to look at it, that it showed the effects of the immune stimulating qualities of an Echinacea, and it basically went up, and it was done for a 5-day period, and then on day 5 it dropped down. So people were saying that for the immune enhancing qualities, that one needs to basically take it in shorter increments. So you take time, you use it, and then you take time off of it, because otherwise after 5 days you're just wasting your time, you're wasting your money. Well, after further investigation by certain individuals, they found out that when the study was translated, they only translated the first part. And it turns out that the reason on day 5 why the Echinacea stopped working was because on day 5 they stopped giving it to the people. Go figure, huh? So that basically covers all that. This is definitely a great plant, can be used as a tea, tincture, and this is actually, I'll show you the tincture right here. This I'm doing as a 30-day soak, but you know, and another great use for this, whether you have it in tincture or tea form, is I've personally had a lot of success with some dental issues like the irritation of the gums, because it's so antibacterial, and just putting a little bit of it in your mouth and swishing it around, holding it there. I mean, what I typically do is about 2 or 3 minutes with a tincture, and that has helped to bring down some of the inflammation that may have come about just because, I mean, my whole life I've had dental issues to work with, and so this has definitely been an ally in my little journey on that. Anyways, so that's that for today. I know this is actually a really cool plant, and there's so much that could be covered, but with all my videos that I've been putting out lately, I've just been trying to keep things simple so that people can understand it, get the kind of the elevator pitch, although I went way beyond my elevator time today. So if you do have questions, shoot them to me. If there's other plants that you have questions about, and if I actually have working experience with them, I'll do up a video on them, or at the very least answer your questions to the best of my ability. So like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.